What's up, all you cool cats and kittens? Okay, sorry. I just had to do that after I binged The Tiger King. Hey book friends, welcome back to the Nerdy Narrative. My name is Leslie, and today I'm going to talk to you about a book that I just finished. It is Straight On Till Morning by Liz Braswell. This is part of the Twisted Tale collection. It is put out by Disney's publishing company, Hyperion. The books in this series are called Twisted Tales, meaning they are a little darker retelling of the very well-known fairy tales that we grew up on. So there's several books out in this series. I didn't realize when I picked this one up, it literally just came out in February of this year. There are several others. I did see on the Disney Parks vlog yesterday that they just released the one that is based off Frozen. And the premise of that one is what if Anna and Elsa had never met? And I believe that they released that one free on audiobook. So, and that one I noticed was by a different author, but Liz Braswell did write several of these in this series, and I'm definitely going to check out more. But let's talk about this one. So Straight On Until Morning is a darker retelling of Peter Pan's story, and the premise of this one is what if Wendy's first trip to Neverland was not actually with Peter but with Captain Hook. So the book was a really quick read for me. It was about 488 pages, but as you can see by the way it's laid out and the spacing, it's really quick. It's more of, if it had normal spacing, I would say maybe a little over 200 pages. Okay, so as I mentioned, this book came out February of 2020. Really, the only thing that had to happen for me to buy this book is it's by Disney. I am a huge Disney fan, and as you can tell, I've got my Mickey Mouse shirt on, my Minnie earrings, my Mickey necklace. I am missing Disney World so much right now. So I'm going to collect all of these books simply because of that. But I love the cover. Clearly you have Wendy here, and there's her shadow. You've got Tinkerbell, Captain Hook's ship, and Neverland, Skull Island. I love the cover. Absolutely love the cover. The hardback itself is just your typical black book, so nothing out of the ordinary there. And I did enjoy the layout of how it's typed. The pages have like a little darkening at the top, a little something extra that added to my enjoyment. So let's delve into it a little bit and see if it's something you'd be interested in reading. So here's the blurb. What if Wendy first traveled to Neverland with Captain Hook? 16-year-old Wendy Darling's life is not what she imagined it would be. The doldrums of an empty house after her brothers have gone to school, the dull parties where everyone thinks she talks too much, and the fact that her parents have decided to send her away to Ireland as a governess, it all makes her wish things could be different. Wendy's only real escape is in writing down tales of Neverland. After nearly meeting her hero Peter Pan 4 years earlier, she still holds on to the childhood hope that his magical home truly exists. She also holds on to his shadow. So when an opportunity to travel to Neverland via pirate ship presents itself, Wendy makes a deal with the devil. But Neverland isn't quite the place she imagined it would be. Unexpected dangers and strange foes pop up at every turn, and a little pixie named Tinkerbell seems less than willing to help. But when Captain Hook reveals some rather permanent and evil plans for Neverland, it's up to the two of them to save Peter Pan and his world. So after reading this book, I feel the blurb does a very adequate job of describing the meat of the story. And between the cover, the fact that it's Disney, and the synopsis, 100% piqued my interest to read this story. Would I recommend it? That's kind of hard to say. I enjoyed the book. I don't know that I'll ever read it again, so I had some difficulty with it. When I began reading the story, my brain was revolting against this story because it's like it just kept, no, that's not right, because it wasn't lining up with the fairy tale that I known and loved my whole life. And so I had a lot of difficulty with that at first. It did get better as I moved forward in the book, but it's so different. As the synopsis said, Wendy is actually 16 years old the first time she goes to Neverland. So she's not exactly a child. She didn't exactly meet Peter Pan. She had an experience involving Peter Pan, and as a result, she has made up all these fairy tales over the years that she has told to her younger brothers, Michael and John. So they've all grown up, and Wendy is still hanging on to those fairy tales, and everybody else is kind of tired of it. Because she's 16, she should not be still telling these fanciful stories. As a result, she's kind of ostracized in her society for being, weird and fanciful. So her parents have decided to send her to Ireland to take care of some other children in another family. Well, Wendy's not okay with that. And she decides, since she has Peter Pan's shadow from the time that she almost met him, she's going to use that to barter with Captain Hook to take her to Neverland. And at that point, the story takes off and the adventure begins. While Wendy is not exactly a child going to Neverland, she does know all of the stories because she's the one who made them up. Going to Neverland expecting to have all these adventures, and it turns out Neverland is not exactly the place that she thought it was. There are many dangers, so she gets to have adventures, but they're not the fun kind that she expected to have. And then, as the synopsis mentioned, Tinkerbell was not that willing to help Wendy. She's actually very jealous of Wendy. And so there's just so much animosity between the two, and it was just kind of hard for me to read because I'm like, that's not the Tinkerbell I know and love. And it was just a little weird. I did enjoy it, but it felt to me like the author would play right kind of towards children, like the original fairy tale, and then all of a sudden she would kind of switch to speaking like to adults. So it would kind of flip back and forth between a childish fairy tale and an adult fairy tale. So, and then there was one really hilarious chapter where she broke the fourth wall, which I lived for that. It was fantastic. There was a few things that happened in the story that had me questioning. I was like, wait, Disney was okay with this sort of thing happening in the story? While I'm not complaining by any means, because those things that I'm referencing are believable things that you would expect to happen in those situations, but Disney kind of glosses over certain types of things, and it's very interesting. So that's why I really want to read some more books in this series, maybe not necessarily by Liz, but maybe try one of the other ones and see kind of what I think about it. Maybe this one, maybe she wrote it exactly the way she wrote it on purpose. Maybe it was just me and my perspective on it. But I'm gonna read a couple more and see if it's just me having difficulties, because I've literally, I've spent 43 years with these stories exactly the way they were when I was born into this world, and here's somebody changing them. So it may be I'm too much of a Disney fan to allow any change in the existing stories, but I plan to read some more and just see what I think. But I'm hesitant to just full out just recommend the book. I would definitely kind of want to talk to them a little bit and tell them what I think, and maybe get a feel of what sort of things they like before I could say, yeah, you should check this book out, or no, I don't think you would like it. So that's all I have to say about that one. I enjoyed it. It was a little weird, but at the end of the day, it's got Disney's name on it. I'm a huge Disney fan. I'm gonna collect it. If you've read this book too, let me know. Let me know what you think about it. Is it just me, or did you feel that way too? I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget, guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single upload, you can click that little bell. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video or you found it helpful, give me a thumbs up down there on your way down to the comments. And y'all take care. I'll see you soon.
Sorry for that. It's fixed now. Sorry, Pam.
Yeah, I'll edit that out with your nappy ear.